Hi, it's T. Carlson here, and any day is a good day for an 80s movie. During Amazon's Prime Day sale, I added this one to my collection. This is The Wraith, classic 80s action science fiction film set in a small Arizona town. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinion. I also want to add this was my first time seeing the movie. Okay, nice cover art there. All the essential characters from the film there. And you got the spine text. Back cover, got some imagery from the film. Underneath, we pretty much have the same thing as far as the artwork goes. This actually does include a digital copy of the film. Disappointingly, the background here is just plain. There's our disc. And I'll read the description of the movie as follows from the back of the package. Charlie Sheen, Nick Cassavetes, Sherilyn Finn, and Randy Quaid star in this turbocharged cult classic. When four glowing orbs crash into each other over the Arizona desert, they leave in their wake a badass Dodge Turbo Interceptor and its enigmatic helmeted driver. The next day, the mysterious Jake appears in town of Brooks, catching the eye of Carrie and the ire of Packard, the ruthless leader of a gang of street racers. When gang members start losing races and lives to the Interceptor, the recent death of Carrie's boyfriend suddenly seems connected to the arrival of Jake, the unbeatable car, and an avenging entity called the Wraith. Again, I had never seen this movie prior to picking up this release, but I am glad I did. This movie's certainly campy and cheesy, but in that fun 80s sort of way, and I'm glad that I got to see it. Of course, the nice small-town Arizona scenery certainly adds something to the film. It's nice to see something like this and not something that's set in a place like New York City. The change of scenery is certainly appreciated. And it's a nice cast of actors, including Charlie Sheen portraying the title character, who of course has come to town on his own personal quest. I won't get into spoilers here because it would be hard to not spoil things on account of certain plot elements. But then you see a nice supporting cast as well. Even Clint Howard pops up here as a brainy gang member. And you get to see some of these nice street racer scenes. And these actually look very nice. Of course, so does the Wraith's vehicle of choice, which, of course, is sort of a custom prototype made for the film. I can't get into all the details here, obviously, but it's an interesting-looking car, and the road scenes are actually very well shot. There's a lot of suspense to be had here. John Cassavetes, of course, plays an absolutely intimidating gang leader, and while he's very much the macho, stereotypical 80s alpha male, he plays the part to perfection. He's the guy you love to hate, so he's the guy you're going to want to see get his comeuppance when the time comes, and that just makes the movie all the more rewarding when it's all said and done. It is a fun film, certainly cheesy and dated, but it is a nice trip in time back to the 80s, and it's things like those that made me glad I went and watched the film. Great soundtrack as well. Of course, as you can see on the package, this boasts that it has songs by artists like Billy Idol, Robert Palmer, Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne, and there's even several others, including Stan Bush, the guy that did the Touch song for the old Transformers movie, and even the band Lion, who featured a young, then unknown Doug Aldrich, who'd later go on to play with Whitesnake and Dio. So overall, while certainly dated, The Wraith is a lot of fun. This Blu-ray disc from the Vestron video collection does look pretty solid overall. I think if this was a 4K disc release, it would certainly look a little better. There are some colors and the like that I think would do well with that nice punch to 4K. But overall, I think this is a pretty solid-looking disc. Certainly not the best thing I've ever seen on the format, but even with all the special effects thrown in, it actually still looks pretty solid overall, and I think fans will be happy with the disc. One thing that pleasantly surprised me with this release is there are a ton of bonus features here, including trailers, TV spots, photo galleries, making of featurettes, both vintage and more contemporary. If you're a fan of this movie, these features will keep you busy for a long time. I'm really glad I got to see The Wraith for the first time, and again, certainly not a perfect film, certainly a product of its era, but it flies by in 90 minutes because it's pretty briskly paced, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. I know I did. Are you a fan of The Wraith? Have you picked up the Blu-ray release yet? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content, as I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.